Music is a big part of my life. It's something I cannot do without.
It's a summer day, the sun is out and the kids are out to play.
I don't see it as a job. For me, it fosters some kind of growth and it frees me, you know. Sometimes there are issues that you want to speak about, but sometimes it's not really easy. But it's easier when you're on stage, and it's easier when it's on a form of a song. And so I feel like writing for me fosters that kind of growth and openness. And I guess that can only be life.
Tribute is what esibiza ukuthi ama-singer-songwriters. Ila bafike bacule kodwa bawazi futhi ukusibhalela. Unezile kuthiwa umzwilili.
She's just there. I'm not gonna say she's trying too hard to make music wakhe to be accepted.
Uyaziculela nje. Ayina effort. One of the most beautiful voices I've ever come across.
Tribute music, it's very soulful as well. I love her music, you know.
She's got the soul of what she's doing. She's got the passion.
If we can have more of people like her in the industry, I think the music industry will be totally different from what it is, manje.
I can't remember any specific moment where I felt I can actually be a musician. I was just going through the internet and I saw a program that was offered at the Victory Theatre, you know, like a voice training type of thing where they give you like tips on how to conduct yourself on stage. And the one thing that stood out for me was you're going to have an opportunity to showcase.
Ngihlangane no-Tribute Victory Theatre, bebeqeda some 2 weeks residency about some training which I was told was sponsored by Arts and Culture, which involved music.
I just enrolled for it. And I felt if that opportunity is there, it means somebody's going to be guiding me. Somebody's going to say, okay, you're doing this right, or you can improve on this or that. And that's when I got through.
And at the end of the training, they had to judge who was the best student khona lapho. So mina bengingomunye wamajaji engangimenyiwe ukuthi angizobheka ukuthi ubani yabo ophumele phambili. So ke yangena ke le ngane small incane intombazane nje ingene iperforme ingoma engavela ngathi mina hayi man. Besides ukuthi fanele ngijaje la, but le ngane le icula kamnandi kakhulu. Wawina ke leyo lokho, I think some choose ukuthi uyena waba overall winner kuleyo presentation. Mayiqeda lapho ngaya kuyena, masiqeda the whole function ngaya kuyena ngazi introducer, ngamtshela ukuthi ngizomsayina a native kodwa hayi manje angilinde and maye ngilinde angasayini namuntu.
I told her in 2012 when she was still this small, I said, if you sign with anyone, I'll kill you personally.
When Ubabu Sipho saw me showcase at the Victory Theatre, we spoke afterwards and he said to me, I see you signed under Native Rhythms one day. And that for me, at the point, it wasn't the most exciting thing. I was nervous, if anything, because I felt I was still a bit young and I still needed to learn more. I needed to be more comfortable as a writer. I wasn't really writing music at the time. I traveled a lot doing Project 23 work. Project 23 is an NGO that does environmental education at schools and communities, and we plant trees, indigenous trees as well.
La ngakho sekuna nhlangano ka green movement la angatela avena loko a endla 23 years u pfule project la yavula ku Project 23 ya ku la ngakho la proclamation anga tsakeli ku vona swilo swi lahliwini laha hansi kumbe ndhavuko u nga hlayisiwi kahle swihlahla na hinkwaswo sweswo.
I graduated for my national diploma in ecotourism, and so I sort of was looking for a way to celebrate my graduation, and I decided to start like a small project where I would go to schools and communities and educate people about the environment and the importance of of taking care of the immediate environment, and so that's how Project 23 started.
Lero sungula ku va a hlohlotela vana lava hi tshamaka na vona la proclamation hi ku va group leyi ku tliliwa ku hlayisiwa ka ndhawu leyi matshangu wa masipala ku va tlilinaka la a ku ri yena na swihlangi leswi every weekend va jikajika lani ka street leswi hi nga ka swona lani va rhola maphephe va endla ku va ku tshama ku basile.
That time utribute ukuthi uyamfuna kuthiwa ukekho South Cape Point, she's observing ama-seals as an environmentalist. She was ehlathini for 3 months ubukana ney'nyoni and all of that. I like, observe your seals and watch the birds there in the forest and do your environmental thing. When it's all said and done, then you must come and let's focus on music. So that alone nje yathatha iminyaka emithathu.
I felt at the time I needed to grow more as a performer and as a singer, especially when it comes to stage performance.
Abuye at some point in time senze nje pre-production encane nje senze ingoma ezimbalwa. I think bewi-coffee.
It's a Monday morning and I hear it's a dark shade of blue.
Bebi one of the songs the studio zaziwu-2 sazenza and bese uyahamba uphindela khona. Ngithi mina ngizomnika i-permission ukuthi ahambe only for 3 months ngoba ngizomdinga ngo-2014 muphela unyaka.
So I started traveling for Project 23 work. 2009 was my first trip to Germany, and I was attending an environmental conference, an environmental youth conference. So I was representing South Africa there. And after that, it was Canada, doing youth diplomacy work, representing South Africa as the Youth Minister of Environment. And then it was Japan, and then it was, many other places. There was Mexico, the US, and all of that. So I traveled quite a lot doing environmental work, like youth-related environmental work.
Bese ukuthi around ngabo September usehambile, October ngisakhumbule, angitshela usehambile but bafuna ahlale for another 6 months. Bese ngithi mina ke hayi ke lena izokusebenza ke leyo. We are coming back 3 months sayikhatha. Wabuya thema ebuya ithi wawo December sangena studio. December January saqeda i-album. Boom.
That's when it all started. When I was back here, I decided, okay, you know what? Since I'm back here, let me gradually go back to the music. And so I started, associating with people who sing and rehearsing a bit more, even though at the time my academics were taking, were more important at the time. And then I decided, you know what? Let me just do this music thing.
Isolo baguboni luhamba naye
I grew up with around 3 siblings. And with my mom and dad, I was raised mostly in Mkhuhlu, eventually moved to Balfour, stayed there for about 2 years, and then Pretoria later.
Yo makante tribute ni tsakela ku va ni sure na vutimiseri bya ku ta va na nchuxeko hi xizulu ri va ri vula ku jabulile.
Ekhaya, we speak about 3 languages. We speak Shangaan. My dad is Shangaan, and so essentially I'm Shangaan. But my late mother, was Zulu speaking. But yeah, I liked going to school, I liked reading, and at some point I thought I was going to be a doctor. And then I wanted to be a writer, and then I wanted to be a singer, and I also wanted to be a conservationist.
Eskoleni a rin'wana la tlhariha ngopfu swinene a nga zanga a feli na xitandati na xin'we tanihileswi na mani ri munhu loyi a dyondzekeke ni ve munhu loyi a va rhandzela tidyondzo leta le henhla ngopfu ta xiyimo xa le henhla ngopfu a va dyondza swikolweni swa ku tshamiseka swa kahle swinene ku a ni nga rindzeli ku va dyondza ka swikolo leswi va nga ta struggle hi ti-facilities ku kalima swa ku swikolo swa hi dyondza ka swa swi nga tshamisekanga.
My dad did have a role in the influence that I've had musically. My dad always played a lot of music around the house, and it was always different music. It was gospel music. It was, songs of struggle that he played around the house.
Mabstiva kuna mkhalabye un'wana loyi a ended collection ta va n'wi vita ka Bob Marley wa le Jamaica. A ni ri mulandzeri wa Bob Marley ngopfu ku a ni tshunxa emoyeni lowu ningisela vuyimbeleri bya yena.
I sang at church for a long time. And I grew up in a church-oriented family, and so I grew up singing at church, and
mhaka leyi ya ku yimbelela yi fikela yi nge se yi nghena nhlokweni a ni nge n'wi soli mhaka ku yimbelela hambi me n'wini loko na ha ri kaya kerekeni a ni ri munhu loyi a chorus leader ekerekeni leyi hi nghenaka yona lero ni munhu a vuyimbeleri swinene.
Growing up, I never really pictured myself like on a stage really, like as a solo musician or strictly, an artist. All I saw was me singing. Where and when, that didn't really matter to me. My mother, out of everyone else, saw this before I even saw it, Because growing up, I was a bit reserved as well, So as much as I sang in the house, I didn't like singing in front of people much, I would sing at church, but I didn't like showing it off. But my mother knew this, and she would always sometimes push me and say, sing type of thing, And sometimes we would sing around the house. And whenever I think about where I am now musically, I feel like my mother saw this before everyone else did. I think that's the more challenging part for me, to say she saw this, but she's not here to experience that with me. There's a song that she liked singing, a church song. I don't know the title of a song, but it's a Shangaan song. Hamisheweta winaba makweru labateke kutatsakana ina winabati hlengeleta nutabatsonga nibaronga hamisheweta hitzakile haleluya haleluya Hamisheweta hitzakile, hallelujah, hallelujah. That's a song that my mother used to like. When my mother passed on, I just turned 21. I think I was doing my 3rd year at varsity, studying ecotourism. And yeah, my siblings were a bit younger, and I think one of the hardest experiences for me. I think the most difficult thing about my mother's passing was I was in Pretoria at the time, so staying on my dad's side, but knowing that I couldn't go back home to where my mother is, you know, like that was just a, you know, we couldn't do it anymore. And I think the more positive side was that my siblings, my younger siblings, had now moved to Pretoria, so I would get to stay with my younger siblings and see them all the time. Another harder thing was the fact that I had just finished, you know, varsity, and so I was going out into the world, into the workplace and all of that, but she was not going to be around to see all of that, you know. And I think even now, like with everything that's happening with the music, the harder thing is the fact that she's not there to see all of that. So. You're going to be signing and taking pictures over there. If you don't have a copy yet, just get on with it. It's always nice to connect with the people who have connected with your music, you know, without you being there or without you knowing about it. So I'm just excited. It's going to be really, really nice. I always say that growing up I had scattered passion, you know, because I liked doing a lot of things and I wanted to be a lot of things. But yeah, here I am today, a singer.
And the album is called Birdie.
Birdie, yes.
Okay, now it makes sense. I was gonna ask, but can we go there?
Yes, we can go there.
Yeah.
We can
So
go
so
there.
you call it Birdie because you love birds?
And it's not because of that. A lot of people think because I love birds. My friends started calling me Songbird. That's around 2005, 2006. And eventually it became Birdie. And coincidentally, I worked with birds eventually, you know. So yeah, that's how I ended up being Birdie and the album being called.